Hello, everyone. We just want to come to you the next couple of weeks. We're going to come and share with you some exciting stories, good news of great joy that are for all people. And Christmas is one of my favorite seasons of the year. And I think many of the reasons for that is just knowing that God came in the flesh so that all ethnic groups would have an opportunity to hear about Jesus and to be rescued from our slavery to both sin and to death. And so in the next, I think we're going to make about 4 videos of 4 of our main ministry initiatives to show you and to help you understand how 1040 Connections is moving the good news that is of great joy for all peoples into some of the most difficult areas of the world. And as we start this today, I just want you to know that we just pray that you will recognize how 1040 Connections, when we reflect on Advent, the idea that Jesus brings hope, peace, love, and joy. All of our ministry initiatives at 1040 Connections, it's exactly what we're trying to bring, because when you tell the story of Jesus, what people experience who respond to Jesus is they do experience this overwhelming hope for the first time in their lives, peace because the Prince of Peace has come, love because they realize that they are loved and valuable to the creator of the universe who created all people, male and female. And then also they experience the joy that comes because Jesus is truly
Sounds
joy
like
to the
the
world.
Advent, doesn't
It
it?
is the Advent.
Look at that.
So we're going to start out by telling you a little bit about how 1040 Connections, all of our projects lead to hopefully disciple-making movements. First salvation, then the planting of house churches. But we always hope that it actually leads to disciple-making movements, because those are movements that you cannot control, because a believer shares with a believer who a believer shares with a lost person who becomes a believer who shares with another one. And the same way with the house church, a house church forms another house church. And from there, some people form another house church, and it just continues to go on. And we want to tell you a little bit about that today.
So imagine that you're living in a persecuted context, say South Asia, for example, and the government has made it illegal for public baptisms. What are you going to do? Because the Bible clearly says to follow Jesus and to participate in believers' baptism. And so this is part of confessing our faith as part of being followers of Jesus. So what do we do? Well, one of the church planting movements that we're partners with and has come up with a new solution. They'll gather together and they'll sing songs quietly, no more loud instruments, but they'll sing songs quietly, they'll pray, and then individually they'll walk themselves to the river or to the local place where there's a water supply. Individually, they'll get in the water and they'll dip themselves. They call it the solo dipping. And so the solo dipping takes place. Then they go back to the place they were gathered before and they continue celebrating and worshiping. So this gets around the difficulty of the community who has opposition, and gets around the law that's looking like people are being forced or coerced to do those kind of things.
And so with that, they still do the whole process of baptism, but they're having to be creative in a way, because if they go and they do the speaking in the water, then it makes
Raising
people
your
realize
hands and praying aloud and singing with loud voices
that something is going on, and it does not look like what this particular nation, what they want their religion to be growing, and it is not the way of Jesus Christ.
Exactly.
And so our partner who just wrote us, she said, I am so excited because we have figured out a way to have parties in the water, but it's just in a little bit different way that we're doing it. And so because of this, they're able to continue with the commandment of Jesus to be baptized. So, and one of the goals that we had in this one particular, we have several different church planting streams with 1040 Connections in different countries, but in this one particular one, inside a particular South Asian nation, our goal was this year to equip 1,500 church planters.
We do that by 36 trainings with about 40 to 45 leaders at each of those trainings.
And what we always hope is that we're continuing to equip people who've been planting churches for a bit of time, so we continue to pour into them. But we always hope for a new stream of new church planters that are coming up out of that movement. And we are happy to report that we just got the final numbers for 2024. And our goal this year was 1,500 people to be equipped. We reached that. There were 750 old leaders that were continuing on the training. But that means that they come to training, they go out and try it, they come back and they have more refresher courses and they figure out how to solve some of their problems, and then they go back. 750. But this year in 2024, we had 750 more church planters. And in this particular stream, these are all female church planters. So we get excited, and the churches that they're starting, they really match the world global statistics. We're at 60% are female in the church, 40% are male in the church. But in this one stream, our goal was 1,500 women to be equipped, to be challenged to plant churches in a very persecuted context. And that goal has been reached because of our partners with 1040 Connections.
So praise God. Yes. This is beautiful things, because Jesus said, pray for more laborers in the harvest field. And this is exactly what we're seeing happen with this particular church planting movement. So this is one's been going on for 16 years. This is quite an advanced, stable group that's been going on for a long time. We have a new one that started about a year and a half ago. And at the beginning of 2024, we had 65 planters, about half were men, half were women. At the end of 2024, we almost doubled that. Now it's at 110. So whatever number that is, we've almost doubled the number of planters in this particular group. And what we've seen so far is we've seen lots of first generation planting. Now, what you want to see with DMMs, CPMs, you want to see 4 generations. So we've seen first generation multiple times. So now we're in the process of getting that second generation going, or they're getting process of making that happen. So if you partner with 1040 Connections, this is what you're part of. You're seeing first generation believers leading to second generation house churches, hopefully to the 4th generation, which then becomes a movement itself, because the DNA of multiplication has taken place.
And so just like Luke 2:10 talks about, it says that, I bring you great joy that will cause great joy for all peoples. This is what 1040 Connections we want to see, is the quicker reproduction of churches. Because if we move back to the simplicity of what the gospel is telling the story of how a God has come to the earth, how he took on sin, he took on death, and he wants all the world to know it. And so as we move back into a story of humility and of simplicity and of purity, this church can grow exponentially, and then more people will have the joy, hope, peace, and love that we want all the world to experience. Now, if you want to be a part of helping us to continue this movement of and momentum of moving joy to all peoples,
we have more good news.
Really good news. We have, because of generous donors, a $100,000 matching grant.
It's already been chipped away. In October, November, they've been chipping away. Different donors have been chipping away.
They're saying, we're going to bring...
It's coming down. So we still have... Part of it's still, the balance is still out there.
Yes. So if you want to be a part where every dollar that you give, it is matched by another donor with 1040 Connections team, to say that in this last quarter of this 2024, we are trying to bring in $200,000, $100,000 of people, and then $100,000 matched by our current donors.
The front end and the back end.
And then by that, we'll be able to move the gospel. We'll finish the maternity home in one South Asian nation, and we'll continue mobilizing and increasing and multiplying leaders, so that more people will have great joy preached to them as well, so that the joy of Jesus truly will go out from Asians to Asians. And we just want to invite you to be a part of that, because it's exciting what Jesus is doing in Asia these days.
So if you want to hear more stories, contact us. We have literally hundreds of stories of church planting taking place among unreached, least reached people groups. This is what we love to see happen. This is what 1040 is about, catalyzing disciple-making movements among the least reached. And so again, thank you so much for your partnership and your prayers and your support. And if you'd like to have your donations doubled, the matching grant is still available. So thank you so much for your partnership, and
keep spreading joy
during
this Christmas season.
God bless.
Merry Christmas.